Alright, again, welcome back. I think we're on maybe episode 5 here. We left off. I had real quickly created a window. Well, not quickly, but we'll do another quick one. But basically, we left off. We have a window here that we want to put in a bunch of these openings. I'm going to go ahead and make this window a block. Again, I use copy with base point and paste this block all the time. I don't catalog windows anymore. It's quicker just to draw a few for a project than to try to find ones that exactly match what the architect used. Some use Pella windows, some use Anderson, some use just straight 3.0, 5.0 sizes or something. So I don't want to sit there and try to find it later. So what I'm going to do to create a block is change my UCS icon back to flat earth, and I'm going to copy with the base point. Again, you'll see me, I just pulled the menu, but I typically use a keyboard shortcut of Alt-E and hit B. I used to use the top, middle, front, center as my defining point, but I found it easier to use the lower left point to define my block. I'm going to copy that, and now I'm going to go into my model, do a Control-Shift-V, which is paste as a block. You can see my O-snaps picking up there, right where I need it to be. I'm going to hit Enter, do it again. I'm going to hit Enter on every window that I think is the same size. Again, I remember I thought there was an oddball down here, and we should see it. Oh, there it is. So I'm going to erase that window. I know that's a different size window. But I'm going to paste this into these last couple of openings. Again, I'm just going to, I would typically draw all my rectangles for my windows at the same time. I just wanted to get through one window so you saw the process. I do know I have some other sizes, so I'm going to go ahead and do those at the same time. So what I'm going to do is actually copy my 2D rectangles down to a different size window and use my stretch command to match it up. I'm sure this is probably a 6-inch difference or something. I'm going to move the middle of this rectangle. Again, you can see the display is wonky with the realistic view, so I'm going to go back to 2D. This is more like you're used to if you're a 2D CAD guy. I'm going to move the middle of this button to the end of that line. Now I've got this window. I know this window is a different size. There may even be a second different size one here. But I'm going to go ahead and borrow my geometry just to save time to the bigger window. I'm going to stretch these points down and stretch these points over. I've got to make my mutton line up. You could simply just draw new rectangles if you wanted. And there we go. I think that if I copy this over, I thought one of these windows was different. Nope, that's the same size. That looks to be the same size. I guess these are all the same. So I just want one of these. I already drew this window. This block's already in there. I'm going to erase it. I'm going to get rid of that stuff. I don't want to see it again. I'm going to copy this window down. Oh, it looks like this is a different one as well. I'm going to copy it to the window frame. Stretch it to match that window size. Move the mutton to the right spot. Again, I'm essentially drawing in 2D, even though I'm projected up in 3D. It's just like you're used to, just a little different. Wise wisdom. Alright, so this window, I'm going to check it. That's the same size, so I don't need to draw it a second time. So I've got 3 more window sizes. I'm going to do the same thing I did with the first window, but instead of one window, I'm going to do 3 windows at the same time. Every dude's dream. I'm going to copy these windows back, kind of out of the way, and copy them 3 times. Far enough so that they don't interfere with each other, but close enough so I can tell which windows belong to which. So again, I'm going to do everything in kind of Henry Ford style, do it all at once. So I'm going to create all the frames by erasing all the inner parts of the windows here. I'm going to create the sashes by erasing everything but removing the sashes. Whoop. Erase everything, remove the sashes. Erase everything, remove the sashes. Erase everything but the inner layers are my glass and my muttons. Great. Now I'm going to create my frames. I'm going to actually, yeah, I'm going to create my frames first. I'm going to select all my frames and say to extrude 4.5 inches. All my sashes want to be 1.5 inches. All my glass wants to go negative 1/4 inch. And everything else, the only polygons left are my muttons, which want to go 1/4 inch. Again, to create, I've got solid rectangles. I want to go ahead and hollow things out, so I'm going to subtract my inners from my outers. Whoop. It's a lot of entering and clicking things. If you get the rhythm down, you just sort of don't even realize what you're doing anymore. And it sounds like you're mad at the computer. So now I'm going to check it by looking at my realistic view, and I see all this stuff's hollow. Great. I'm going to select one of my pieces of glass, put it on my glass layer, do a match props, and select all my other glass because I want that distinct from my window itself. I'm going to move all my... I want to go back to my wireframe view because I want to see through my geometry. I'm going to move all my glass. I'm going to put the middle of the glass solid in the middle of the mutton, or the sash solid. Then I'm going to move all my top sashes, the frame and the mutton. I'm sorry, the top sash, glass, and mutton. And I want to move it out the width of itself. Now these are all kind of the way a window is. I'm going to move all of this stuff so the back of the top sash is in the middle of the top of the frame. Now I've created all these 3 windows. So I basically want to, again, before I ever create a block, I make sure I'm on flat ground. If I'm upright and I create a block, again, it's just best practices. Trust me on this one. So I see this bottom window goes here. I'm going to go ahead and copy it with a base point here. Select all this stuff and paste it as a block here. I'm pretty sure that's the only window of that size, so I'm actually going to erase this. Maybe throw a save down here at some point. You know, it never hurts. I'm going to select the bottom corner of this window as a block. Copy. Paste it everywhere I think it goes. Again, wireframe view is better once you're used to looking at AutoCAD. I can see my points better than the solid frames. And I'm looking as I paste these blocks to make sure these white lines are covering my red lines, that they're the right size. I'm finished with this window. I can always copy one of these blocks over. Now I've got this last oddball size window that was up here. Let me pause for a second. Alright folks, I had to step away for a few minutes, so frankly I have to remember where I'm at. I'm going to zoom back here and look at my house and say, okay, I'm missing a window here, which is the same as this window. Filled in that opening. I got one more opening and one more window, which is this one. So I'm going to copy this with the base point. I'm going to go ahead and erase it because I know I'm done with it there once I paste it into the actual model itself. So there goes. I've got all the windows on the front of the house in there. I think the next step is probably to finish the windows on the sides of the buildings. Now, I know from, I just know on this one, my view on this building is going to be roughly from this angle. So I'm probably not going to worry about the windows on the left side of the house for now. I can always come back and add them if my view changes, or the client says, hey, I want another rendering from this side. Fine, I can go back and build the windows. For now, I'm going to focus on the front and the right sides of this model. I want to go back to my wireframe mode. I'm going to look at the left side of this house, and I'm going to do the same thing I did with the, I'm going to look at the right side of this house. Go to my second isometric. Now my XYZ is up on this plane. Again, I'm just going to draw the windows. I'm going to see roughly, I'm going to take this same rectangle. It looks like this is the same size. Yep, that one is. That one is. That one, oh, nope, see that one's a different size. So I'm actually going to hold this node down to there and copy it to this window. Now I'm seeing my white lines over, whoops, and this window appears to be a different size as well. Let's see if it's this window size. No, it's different. So there's at least a couple of window sizes in this size. So the challenge is figuring out, you don't want to build the, whoops, and this window's off a little bit. I'm just going to draw a new rectangle. I'm just going to go ahead and do this with rectangles. I know I've got some more windows to make here. These are obviously the same size. Maybe these windows up here are the same size. And this one is. And these two are the same. Alright, looks like I got all the windows on that side. I'm going to extrude all of these rectangles I just drew through the wall. In this case, I'm going to do a couple at a time because I'm going to be subtracting out of different solids. There were a couple windows in this bump out, so I just want to be conscious of that. In this case, I'm going to look at my realistic view, and I can see my rectangle shooting through my wall. So for now, I'm going to subtract this wall, and I'm going to pick a few windows that I know are in it. I'm going to do the same thing again, do it in stages, make sure I get... See, I just subtracted the windows from that projection, and now all of these should be good. Now my boxes are gone, and all my subtractions are taken out. I'm going to go ahead. This was that window size that, let's see, I'm going to look at my wireframe. It looks like to me these are the same window, so I'm actually going to copy my window over. Now I want to rotate that window into the wall. But if I rotate now, my UCS is up on the right side of the house. If I rotate, it's going to rotate it not the right way I want to go. There is a 3D rotate command, but then you have to define an axis. I find it easier just to move my UCS around to where I want to be. So I'm going to type UCS, enter, enter. Now I'm back on the ground, flat earth. I'm going to rotate this now back. And I'm going to go ahead and fill as many openings with this window as I can. Is this the same size? Yeah, I'm getting a bunch of them. I think that's a different one. Let's erase that. Maybe try this window size in the bottom. And you always love architects that have like 7 different window sizes in a house. I know this is a new size. Let's try, it looks like this size is the same, so I'm going to copy it over and rotate it. Great. Maybe this side, whoop, copy this around. Oh, okay, that's too tall, but this size might go here. Nope, it's not big enough for the opening. Let me try this window size over here. I might have already done that, but nope, not the same size. So I know I need to draw at least this window. I'm going to just do one at a time at this point. Again, I'm going to tilt my UCS. This time I'm going to change it by typing UCS OB for object, and I'm going to click this elevation block. So it put me up on that elevation block. I know that, okay, I want to create this window size because I don't think it exists on the front. Even if I create another window, so what? I can do it quick. You can do it quicker if you're not explaining it. So again, I'm going to do an intersection, the bottom sash, inside of the bottom sash, the inside of the top sash, the outside of the top sash, the inside of the frame, and the outside of the frame. And I'm going to draw a rectangle at 3/4 inch by, say, 4 feet, and move it to center on this line that denotes the mutton. So that's one size. While I'm in the mood to draw rectangles, I'm going to do another one. Sash. This is a single, like a casement. Oh, actually, I don't need a duplicate line. I just drew 2 rectangles. I'm going to erase one and then draw the outside. Then I'm going to borrow my rectangle from my mutton and I'm going to stretch it.